Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and today I want to have what I consider to be an important conversation about the company Everything Attachments, also known as EA. You're probably familiar with them from the line of Wicked Attachments. And I'm not connected to EA. I don't have some special insider information, but I do think I have a very unique perspective, having been through something like this myself, that I think I can give really valuable insight to what's happened there, that I wish EA would take this to heart moving forward. Now, let me give you the backstory real quick for those of you who are not familiar. And the reason I'm publishing this video today is that EA seems to be making a comeback on their social accounts with a post they made today and a video that they released today. Everything Attachments is one of the most popular tractor manufacturers. Since I've been a tractor owner, they've had the highest reputation. Everybody loves EA. They make great products. They're just some good old boys in a family-run business. They make their own videos on YouTube. It's hands-on. The guy that you see on YouTube is who you talk to when you call to order something. And it's almost like a cult-like following. Everybody loves the Everything Attachment product. And if you wanted to order a grapple from them, you would pay for it and then wait 3 months to get your grapple. And nobody cared. 6 months. People would pay for these expensive products that cost thousands and thousands of dollars and wait 6 months to get one. And then one day, they just disappeared. Like the website and the Facebook group and everything was just gone or down with no explanation. Their doors were locked, and it was like they went out of business, and nobody knew what was happening. Since then, there's been a bunch of information that leaked out, and speculation and rumors, and people talking about it in videos. And I want to be really strong here emphasizing this again. I don't know what's happening at Everything Attachments. This is not meant to be insider information or anything like that on what has already happened. What I want to talk about is what has to happen right now. And I want to, we'll get to it. But I think there's a very critical step that Everything Attachments has to take right now if they want to go back into selling attachments. And I'm hoping that their ownership will watch this video. Apparently, as Everything Attachments grew, they're a small business. And all of a sudden, the demand for their products is so high, they're becoming a huge business. And that's completely overwhelming. And if you're an expert on tractor attachments, and you know how to manufacture, and you know how to demonstrate the value of your product, and you're selling it, that doesn't mean that you know everything there is to know about everything else that goes into turning a small business into a big business. That's where my personal experience that comes in. I started building my own wooden product, and I had no business training, no experience. I didn't know what I was doing. I was making mistakes left and right, but I was making them fast and fixing them and moving on and then making more. And I had no training and no experience and no one to lean on. And I think the guys at EA, I bet they did better than I did, but it seems like they made some mistakes. And they built this massive millions and millions of dollars of new facility to make products faster, to have improved their experience and everything like that. And then they somehow got involved in a legal battle between the company that built their new facility, and they couldn't make some kind of payment to him, or there was problems with the new facility, so they couldn't manufacture in it, but they were having to make the payments. And I have absolutely zero blame for some guys who maybe messed up along this process, made a couple mistakes. Maybe they hired a company that made all those mistakes. Maybe they didn't even do it. Maybe they just hired a company and this company is screwing them over. Could be, I don't know. Maybe they were embezzling the money. I don't know. But what I believe is they were doing the best they can to make a great product for the consumer, and they maybe went just a little too fast and got in over their heads. But none of that matters, really. Why would you care? Why would I care? If they go out of business, we just go on living our lives. The problem is for the people who paid for an attachment and they were in line waiting on that attachment, and then the company goes out of business. What happens to those people? Well, I was surprised, and I want to give EA a lot of credit for this, because there were people who bought their products, and EA is like in a lawsuit and financial trouble and struggling and might be going out of business, and they were giving people $4,000 refunds for grapples that they had ordered. But some people got their money back, and some people were having trouble getting their money back. The problem, though, is you're a company that's made the decision to be public-facing about it. And I'm going to relate to my story again. I had about 100 products sold, and we had a 3-week wait when I made the decision, this isn't working. I want to shut my business down, and I'm going to make YouTube videos about tractors for a living. And I made sure that every single customer still got their product on the same timeline they would have gotten it. I had that all lined up before making the decision to stop selling. And we were able to execute for our customers, and I had made a decision to permanently go out of business. So at that point, I'm permanently out of business. Everyone who has bought a product has received their product. I have no obligation to come out and say anything. I can just stop selling the product. If I get an email, hey, what can I buy a product? No, we're out of business. But for people who, if you can't fulfill your orders when you go out of business, you have to communicate publicly. We will fulfill all these orders. Please be patient with us. You know, if you need your refund, we can do that. But if you give us time, we'll get you the product you ordered. And the statement of that needs to be loud and clear. And I understand that there are times when you're in a legal situation and you can't legally come on here and say this happened and this happened. It's none of my business. Even if I bought the product and I'm waiting on it, I don't have a right to know every detail of what is going on. But if you come out, and here's the important part, and this is about the part, because the obvious thing everyone's going to say is, from now on, if they go back to selling, they need to accept the money when they ship. And then you'll have customer trust. But I think there's something way more important than that. When they went out of business, their YouTube channel needed a video like mine. When I went out of business, my YouTube channel didn't have anything to do with my business, and I didn't have customers down waiting on products. But I sat in front of the camera and I said, guys, I failed as a business owner. I've messed up. I've made mistakes. My employees now don't have jobs, and that's my fault. And I got right here to the camera and I said, guys, I've messed up my business. I didn't do it right because I didn't know how to do it right. And I was honest and forthright about my failure. But if I wanted to keep that business going, that's where EA is at. You sit in front of the camera and you say, guys, we're committed to the quality of our products, and we're committed to the customer. And if you've given us money for a product, I guarantee you will get your product. Now, it might take some patience because our ability to produce that product is held up in a legal process right now. And our hands are tied. We're miserable. The people running that company have been through hell. Even if it's their own fault, emotionally, they've been through hell of, this is our life, this is our legacy, we have generations of our family doing this, and now our name's being dragged through the mud. Everything we've worked for, everything we've built, we're being sued. We've got this responsibility. I mean, they've been through hell. And while going through hell, all they can think about is, how do we survive? How do we get back? How do we move forward? How do we not end up in jail, I guess, for if you can't pay your debt eventually? But more than likely, they've got bankruptcy opportunities in front of them. And I have no idea what their story is, but this has been hard for them. And when something's hard for you, it's like going through the stages of grief. Your thought is, how do I insulate myself? And what your thought should be is to come out publicly, say, guys, we've made some mistakes, but we're committed to being there for our customers in the future. So the video today that EA released was not facing the camera. He's holding the camera pointing this way, and he's walking around their factory, and he says, see, we haven't sold off our assets. Here's the machine that makes the grapples. Here are the parts where we can make more grapples. If someone wants to buy a grapple today, they can come in and get it. We're not ready to ship yet. He's given all this explanation, but he's not facing the camera. And this is a guy I talked to on the phone when I bought my Wicked bucket. And I've watched him in a lot of videos, and I've learned things from his videos. And he's provided value to me. I want to trust him. I want to believe in him. But he needs to turn that camera around on his face and say to our customers, I'm sorry for the fear and uncertainty we gave you when we couldn't deliver the product. And then say, we're committed. Going forward, you'll never see a problem like this again, because the problem was never our product, it was never our price, it was never the way we built it, it wasn't our customer service. The only problem we had was we got mixed up in a situation with building a multi-million-dollar building, and it got messed up somehow. And it hurt us financially where we couldn't get our products out. So they need to come out and say that, because he's trying to sell product again. And it's been a long gap of silence from them. And people thought they went out of business and their customers were getting screwed and we'd never hear from them again and it was going to be a disgrace to their name. I think they can save this. Americans will forgive you if you say sorry. But you can't sweep it under the rug. You can't just be like, hey, some stuff happened, want to buy from us? You got to come out and say it. Say, I'm sorry if you bought a grapple from us and you were scared about your $4,500 of hard-earned money that you paid. I'm sorry that we put you in that middle of this situation where you didn't know what was happening with your money. We're going to fix this. Come out and say it. Sit in front of the camera. Show some remorse. Maybe get a single tear. But be real. Whatever you think, be real about it. And I have made so many mistakes in my life. The number of mistakes I've made in my life is overwhelming. The things I've done wrong, you can't put it into words. And I continue to make mistakes every day. But what I've learned is when you make a mistake, say it. I messed up. So, with all that said, EA hasn't made worse mistakes than me. They were just more public when it happened. And I feel for them. I feel for the people who are doing everything right in that business. And I want to see them become a great company again. But I think step one, make the video I'm talking about. Get right up to the camera and tell people what's going on. Tell people what it's been like for you and what it's going to be like next. That's all I got to say. It's probably already a long video. I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.